Okay, party people, today is day 24 of Read My Book With Me, my Ground Up, a self-love workbook for the Generational Curse Breaker on social media. So let's get into it. You guys already know what to do, okay? You need to like this video, save it, and also hit that follow so you don't miss another day, okay? Because you're late to the party. We're day 24. You're late, okay? Also, if today's read resonates with you, be sure to engage. Get in the comments and engage. And I'd also invite you to click the link in my bio so you can grab your copy and we can do this work together, because we are breaking generational curses, cycles, patterns, and limiting beliefs. But obviously, in order for us to break those cycles, we have to be able to identify them so we can address them. And this requires us to reprogram our mind, right? And in doing that, right, we're able to tap into a higher consciousness, which is essentially your best self or your highest self, and we can generate generational wealth. So we're trading those generational curses in for generational wealth. So that's what you're doing here, okay? All that. Let's get into the read. So we've been doing Russian roulette. I'm kind of like doing this little, you know what I'm saying, so the pages don't get funky, okay? But we are on page 112 and 113, okay? And I'm gonna be honest with you, I feel like we are in the solar plexus because we're talking about the light. And I've explained this before. The solar plexus is essentially our star. It's where God starts speaking to us about the pursuit of purpose, what our purpose is, our creative ideas that he stored within us. This is intention, this is focus, this is Jesus, okay? This is where we get more into individuality, and we also address the ego. Now here's the thing about the light, right? Oh my God, I've spoken about this before. Like, it's an inner light, okay? It's an inner light that shines so bright that nobody can deny it. And even for some, right, we know lights awaken us, but they also blind us. So for some, your light will blind them. But again, this is an inner light. When you are that person who feels like you have to seek the spotlight, 9 times out of 10, you probably have some healing that you need to do within, like some self-love, right? Which is why we're here, okay? So again, if the message is already starting to resonate with you, you're in the right place. I'm speaking from experience. Seeking the light, or seeking the spotlight, if you will, like I said, really comes from a place of low self-esteem. And it's not that you were not made for the spotlight, it's that you're wanting it for the wrong reasons. Not necessarily to glorify God, but to glorify self. And again, that comes from a place of low self-esteem. It's like, look at me. And it's because technically you don't feel seen. And one thing I've had to do in the reprogramming of my mind is see myself from an objective standpoint, meaning with non-judgment, without judgment. So acknowledging, Latara, I see you, no matter what it is, how I'm feeling. Literally last night I was just talking to myself like, baby girl, I see you. I've seen you fall. I've seen you get back up. I've seen you crawl. I've seen you cry. I've seen you overcome. I've seen you produce. I've seen you pray. I've seen you fast. I've seen so many different facets of you. I see you. And those are those conversations we really have to have with ourselves objectively. Because fact of the matter is, when we want the spotlight, it's because we really want to be seen. And you have to first start by seeing yourself. And even for that to take place, you got to go to God so he can start telling you, or so he can tell you how he sees you. Because the world will tell you what they see, and that doesn't always align with what God sees or how God sees you, how God views you. So you need the truth to compare the worldview to, right? And so, if that resonates, let's get into the word. Solar plexus, scripture first so we can pray this over our gate. Okay, God says to guard our gates. So let's go to the solar plexus scripture. This is your opportunity to take a picture. Again, click the link so you can get the whole book. We can do the work together. But take a picture for your own self-read, and also so you can be praying this scripture over your gate. Period. Okay. So this is the solar plexus. It says, but Jesus did not commit himself unto them, because he knew all men, and needed not that any should testify of men, for he knew what was in man. That's John 2:24 through 25. And I'm going to go so far as to say, like, again, speaking about the spotlight, the light that people shine on you, they'll turn around and use it to torch you. If you get so caught up in people's approval and their praise, if that's what drives you, you know what I'm saying? You feel alive, right? If you live by the applause, you will die by the booze. And I kid you not, people cannot wait to humble you when they feel like you're starting to smell a different kind of air. Okay? So if you allow the people, if you will, to take the glory for God's work in your life, you understand what I'm saying? Then that same pedestal they put you on, they can take from up under you. So you have to be so centered in God. You have to allow God to establish you, that no man has the ability to take you off that throne that God has established you on. This is why, we want God to give us, because what God gives, only he can take away. You understand? So it's letting God brag about you, letting God establish you, letting for his glory, okay? Letting God place you where he wants you to be, because at the end of the day, again, the people are simply coming into agreement with God's plan for your life. It isn't that they put you there. They came into agreement with God's plan for your life. And that's it. That's all. But let's get into the word. So we're going to go for the second, which is really the first paragraph here. It says, seeking the light without diminishes the light within. It is fantasy and illusion. Not knowing that value rests in who we are causes one to seek it in things outside the self. Famous people read lines from a script and play a role in controlled settings. When the cameras leave, the recording stops, and they return to real life. We know there is more to life than what we see on TV. We can miss our blessings by comparing our life to movie scripts. J. Cole says it best. There's no such thing as a life better than yours. And there's beauty in the struggle. The position does not determine success. Your point of view does. If we look past the glitz and glamour, these people have problems just like, or not just, but like the average person, sometimes more. Despite appearances, there is a leveled playing field. There is success on the mountaintop and the valley too. Our perspective is the seed of new reality. So we were talking about perspectives yesterday in regards to the heart chakra, and how, basically when you're heartbroken, it's like a shattered mirror, because our hearts are mirrors. They're reflectors. And when our mirror is broken, then we see things from a distorted view, or with a distorted view, right? And that means our perspective is also distorted as well. It is called a fallacy, and also cognitive dissonance. So with that said, you can see how this same thing erupts in the solar plexus, which is the chakra before the heart. When you have this fallacy, or like I said, this veil over your eyes, this cognitive dissonance, you don't necessarily see things as they are. And I'm just going to use Kanye West as an example, right? We see how he has all these outbursts, and he looks like he's, not all the way there and all this other stuff. But I guarantee you, he has a life. He has a life that, happens when the lights, the cameras are not there. Even Beyonce and Jay-Z were fighting, Solange, you know what I'm saying? I know y'all didn't forget about the elevator. There's something that happens outside of what we can see. And when you think that they have a better life than you, your view is skewed. But we've ran out of time today. Click the link, get the book. Next time.